to the bathroom. I'm just going to be real with you here. Like, I would go 2 weeks sometimes without going to the bathroom. And it was just, to the point where I was like, I know that this is not normal. Like, I don't feel good. I have painful bloating and cramping. And so, I felt like I was way out of whack. So then fast forward into adulthood. And, again, I was just withering down to the things. I had such a narrow list of things that I could tolerate and that I could eat without just having days of either, it started to kind of swing the other way too. I wouldn't go to the bathroom for really long periods of time, and then I would swing the other way, and I could not leave the house because I was going so often. So I knew that things weren't okay. So then I had my kids, and if you guys have had children, you know that it just kind of wrecks your body, and something changed in there, and the way I manifested stress, the way that I, dealt with just the everyday level of anxiety and stress. And so again, I was like, nothing short of like, I referred to myself as like a woodland creature foraging for nuts and berries, because that was about all I could eat. And so I started having these horrible flare-ups. And if anybody's had anything that's like Crohn's, celiac, diverticulitis, those are the type of flares that I started having, where I was going to the bathroom during a flare. I would run a fever. It was like a bowel infection. And it just got to a point where I was just going to the bathroom all the time, and I couldn't keep anything down. I would get dehydrated 4 different times over the course of 2015. I had to drive myself to the emergency room, and I would walk in and I would just start bawling. And the nurse was like, what? Were you in an accident? What's going on? I'm like, I can't stop pooping. And she was like, all right, come on, let me help you. So it was just, and then they put me on, all these medications to like paralyze my intestines and my colon to get all this, the spasming and the inflammation to stop. Well, that would jack my system up for like 2 or 3 weeks. Then it would all start over again. So I was like losing 7 to 9 pounds every one of these flares because it was just awful. So, it was one of those things where I was truly losing time in my life, and the quality of life that I had was just not great. I couldn't go to the park because I didn't know where the nearest bathroom was. My kids started asking, why are you always sick? That's just not a place that you want to be at 35 years old, to feel like, this is the best it's going to be forever. And I'm only 35. So, after this whole other battery of testing that they did, again, it's a lot of the same, but I did have the added bonus of the colonoscopy, and the MRI, and they would take x-rays of my intestines, and they couldn't figure out what the tract of my intestines was, because I was so inflamed. It looked like a big pillow. And so they kept thinking that, they kept running the panel of celiac, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, and diverticulitis, and everything came back fine. So I was totally depressed, because when you hear just find a good probiotic and eat some yogurt, you kind of feel like, well, shit, that's the end of the road medically. Nobody knows how to help me. And so one of my very best friends from college, Nicole, who's my upline, had been posting about Plexus she had genetically high cholesterol, the kind that diet and exercise does not touch. She's tall, she's slim, she's got legs for days. She's just not your typical high cholesterol person. And so I knew that she had health issues when when we were in college together, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So she's posting about how her labs are just insane. They're just so much better. Her doctor's like, stay on whatever you're doing. It's awesome. So I wasn't connecting with the cholesterol piece. And it was not until she posted a testimonial that was like I was reading about myself. And she actually then sent the same one to me and said, I've just been thinking about you. I know that you've been having some issues. You need to think about this. And I was like, if the doctors can't help me, then there's no way that, plant-based supplements are going to help me. And she was like, would you just try it? Just humor me, prove me wrong, give me 60 days and let's just see if anything helps. And so I kind of became a secret customer. I was like, I'm not telling anybody. I'm sure as hell never selling anything. Like, I was like the biggest skeptic. And so I had a pretty extreme 45 days of detox, and it was not as bad as my worst flare. So I was like, well, I can power through. mean, if this is not as bad as what I've been through, then I'm going to give it a full 60. And so about day 45, I started to turn this corner. And honestly, I woke up one day and I was like, well, that's done. And I literally like never turned back. It was crazy. And I called Nicole, and I was actually in Colorado with my family. It's so funny that we were in Denver as I'm telling Jen about all this and you about all this. And I'm like, this is kind of where it all started. And it's so crazy that I'm here. And I called Nicole and I said, I'm just telling you, I'm a lifer. I was like, I've never felt better in my life, and I will take these products for as long as they make them, and I will sell them for as long as they'll let me, until I get too crazy and they say, please stop, don't sell anything anymore. So that's kind of my story. That's how I got started. That was a year ago, June 5th. And I have not only not had a flare since then, but I have had all of my lifelong symptoms all but disappear. I don't have any of the same bloating and cramping. I could not eat broccoli, like I said. I had broccoli last week and I didn't die. So, things are good. I post things like on my page, like I survived Mexican food and I'm still happy and we're still out and I'm not in the bathroom. Like those to me are like the biggest victories ever. So it's pretty amazing. I love Plexus. I love, that I found something that I'm passionate about, and to have a personal and a professional passion collide is something I've never experienced before. So I'm just literally on cloud 9 every day, waking up thinking I get to do this and I can't believe this is my job. Getting into like the technical things about, what did I do? I don't know where you guys are in your journey. So I'm going to probably say things that you've heard a lot, and I'm going to repeat them because they are what I kind of repeated to myself as a mantra every day. And I still do. So, kind of starting from the beginning, I made some notes here. So I'm going to kind of look over here. But I think that the first and most important thing to find is your voice and and being true to yourself. And I'll tell you just from experience, like this last year, I've done it 2 different ways. I've been completely wacky and crazy and like a little out there on my personal page. And I've been totally like straight-laced, buttoned up professional, like, I am a professional. You want to work with me doing ads on Facebook, kind of like a robot. That didn't work. I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Facebook ads. And I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying be consistent across the board. So the stuff that and 100% of my business has come from me being completely myself and embracing my personality. And I've had friends that have come, out of the woodwork that I went to grade school with and high school with that are like, you have not changed a single bit. And that to me is the highest compliment that somebody can give me, because I feel like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm being true to myself. I'm putting it out there in a way that people are somehow relating to. And so I think that's been the biggest lesson. It's cost me a lot of money, but I think I've really learned that I just have to, no matter what, avenue I am choosing to invest in, I have to be 100% myself. So that I think is awesome. So everyone tells you make your list. I say do it. I waited a really long time to do it. And so I think that's huge. If you guys haven't made your list or you're holding off and you're just working through your Facebook friends, like I think that goes such a long way for like really honing in on those people that you want to really invest, a really genuine message in and going after. I say start contacting everyone with a super simple message. I'll give you just an example. This is one I've been using for the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, and I've been getting really, really great return rates. So I'm going to try to give you guys like some really good takeaways too. That always helps me from calls like this. Like if I can write down, this is exactly what they say, and I have a new message to give, that always helps me just kind of like, breathe a little bit of new life into whatever I'm doing. So I usually say, hey, Shannon, your family is so cute. I can't believe how big your kids are getting. I love keeping up with you on Facebook. Hey, I'm curious if anyone's told you about the Plexus products yet. They've been a game changer for my health. Have you heard of them? So I'm finding that in ending with a question, I'm getting such a great response rate. And people are like, I haven't heard of them. Tell me more. And that's the door wide open. Then I can tell them a little bit more. But I feel like that short and sweet message has been getting a lot of response. Second thing, posting consistently on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever your little avenue is, make it personal from you. I think, watching videos, there's so many people out there that do great videos on how to the right way and the wrong way to post on those things. Those are really, really helpful. And then something that I have done, and, I love that you said that you think I'm running my page like a diamond. I'm telling you what, it is completely duplication, and I'm copying. I'm emulating what I'm seeing successful people doing. And I think that, I've got some like little tips and like mantras that I use, but they always say dress for the part that you want, not the part that you have. And I really take that to heart, because I want to be a diamond so bad, just like the rest of us. So I'm trying to walk that walk, and eventually my rank will catch up with me. But I think if I just keep doing that and stay focused with my blinders on and do what I see these successful people that I look up to doing, then eventually it'll just all sync up and we'll all be there with our toes in the sand together. So, follow-up is huge. I like to think of follow-up as unrequited love. The way I do that is I think of, when I'm reaching out to people, I'm getting crickets back, I'm getting no responses. I think of that as a one-sided conversation. So for me, I just keep that conversation going. It's never snippy. It's never, I see that you haven't responded. It's never any of that. I'm picking up my conversation where I left off the last time. It's so funny because some of the messages that I consider them huge victories when people are like, they respond after 6 or 8 months and they pick up the conversation where I've left off. And I'm like, okay, something's working. So even if it's just, hey, I was thinking about you today. I saw something that made me think of you. I hope that you're enjoying your summer with your kids. And that may be it. It may not even have anything to do with Texas, but I'm just staying in touch with them and I'm continuing that conversation. So it's not a bad thing that it's, I think this is a huge thing too, is that I'm totally unemotional about my outreach. And I think that I've had some sales jobs in the past. And so I do think that I've kind of brought that over, is that I put it out there and I literally don't think about it again until follow-up Friday or until I follow up with them again. So I'm not sitting there thinking, oh gosh, what are they thinking of me when they open that message, or getting self-conscious about, they probably think I'm just trying to sell them something. Like, I literally don't even go there mentally. I put a sincere message out there, and when it goes, it leaves me. And I think that has really served me well, is that I think everybody likes me and wants to be my friend until they say, I don't like you and I don't want to be your friend. So I think that having that kind of a thick skin has helped me a little bit too. And there's a lot of people on my team that are like, I'm getting so discouraged. I feel like nobody's responding. And I'm like, just keep the conversation going. Just keep it going. And then eventually they will pick it up. And if they don't, that's okay too. You're still continuing that relationship with them. And at some point, 10 years down the road, maybe they'll come to their senses. But anyway, another little tidbit that I learned mentioning my other sales jobs is something that they always said to us was, it's trash until it's cash. And I love that saying, because I think that kind of goes along with, when I put things out there and people say, oh yeah, I'm going to order. I don't sit there and wait for them to do their end. I keep on trucking. I keep putting stuff out there. If they order, then we move to, my next line of defense here, which is, getting them signed up, getting them their email, getting them put into my email list, all those things. But I don't sit there and wait for them and perseverate on, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. I would never do that. That is such a head game. So I think it's trash till it's cash. When they sign up, excellent, moving on. If they don't, that's fine. I'll hit them on my follow-up. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is also really, I think, a good takeaway and something my team has said has worked really well for them. When someone says they're going to order and they haven't, and let's say I'm at the end of the month and I followed up with them several times and they're still not ordering or responding to me at that point, I will say something that's a call to action. And I literally say, hey, I have time at 2:00 12 o'clock, whatever time is good for you. I'm happy to call you and get you signed up so you're ready to roll in a few days. Does this time work for you? And that has been a really good thing too. People will be like, yes, that time works for me. Or no, it doesn't. Could you call me at 4? Well, I've still nailed them down. I'm still going to be the one signing them up. I know that I'm going to get them signed up as a preferred customer or an ambassador signed up correctly with a conditional, it kind of takes the guesswork out of it for them, because sometimes people are sitting there thinking, gosh, I'm going to have to navigate this website. I don't know if I'm going to get it ordered right or, whatever. So that's worked really well, is try to pin down a time with them and say, I will call you. And you can even say, unless I hear differently, I'll call you at 2. So being gentle but firm, I think is a good way to kind of turn that trash into cash, if you will. And sometimes at the end of the month, to kind of get people off the fence or push them over, I'll say, I'm paying shipping through Saturday at midnight. Whatever it is, whatever the end of the month is, that last day, I'll say I'm paying shipping through the 31st at midnight. Zero pressure, just letting you know about my month-end special. So again, keeping the pressure off of them, but just kind of keeping them in the know, which I think people really appreciate. So another thing, I don't know if you guys heard this, it was Michelle and Tim Thomas that did it was at Texas, I can't remember what their little show is called. Anyway, they're so cute. I just love it.
Pink.
Rock the Pink. Thank you. They were talking about how your goal, or maybe it was the McCalls, I can't remember. Anyway, one of them was saying, and this has really stuck with me, and honestly, it has completely changed my business. My goal, if I don't have somebody that's on my dream team list that I'm like, yes, I need to recruit them to the business side immediately. 90% of us were on the customer side and then upgraded to ambassador. And I think that is such a strong way, because people already love the products. So switching them over to wholesale is just a no-brainer. So I set up every single person that is signing up as a customer. I literally say, this is my verbiage to them. Let's get you going as a preferred customer so you have that 60-day safety net. As soon as you know you love the products, let's switch you over to wholesale so you can keep on trucking but save money every month. And that's been huge. So I'm on average upgrading 3 customers per month over to the ambassador side. And I just think of it as a revolving door. So sometimes people are like, at 20 days, I know next month I want to get over to wholesale because I want to save money and I want to keep on going. Sometimes people want the full 60 days, so they just feel like they've got that full safety net and then they want to switch over. Some people don't want to switch over at 60 days, and that's okay too. But my experience has been probably 80% of people, once they love the products, want to get the cheaper pricing and keep on going. So I think of it as every month I'm shooting to upgrade 3 people from the customer side. And then I have 3 spots in my PV that I need to fill. So that's my mentality every month, is I need to fill 3 spots so I can take that PV, keep my PV up, but get those people over to the ambassador side so they can start having a window into the business. And I always say there's no pressure, but I'm supporting business and wholesale on this page. So take what you want and leave the rest. Learn whatever you want to do. So there's never any pressure, but they're set up from the beginning knowing that they're going to be upgraded to the wholesale the minute they know they love the products. So that's been huge for me. It's really worked well. All right, where am I here? And then, okay, so this is another, I think that, the second that you have, they say once you have one person under you, you're a leader. Once I hit silver and I had 3 people, I really felt like, okay, I have a responsibility now. And so I started my page, and the way that I started it was I just posted, for me, the Flip Flop CEO is kind of what lit this fire for me and really gave me the vision for network marketing as a profession. So I started with that. And I just said, I love this book. If you haven't read it, let me know. I will purchase it for you. I only had 3 people at the time. I purchased them, all 3 of them, the book. And I felt like that, starting small, it was an investment in these people, but those 3 are still with me and they're still trucking. And so I felt like it was a good place to start, to get that belief. I really, really believe in this, in this business building your belief in yourself is huge. Building your belief in Plexus as a company and in the products, being a product of the product, and then building your belief in network marketing as an industry. Those are the three big like pillars of this. And that's where I really started, was I got the fire for network marketing. I saw the potential. I started building the belief, in myself as somebody that could do this, and then building the belief in the company and the products as I stayed on them. So I thought that was really helpful. And then I tried to kind of instill that in those new people. Even though I only had 3, I was like, I'm going to really, build this page so that, in essence, before I really felt like there was a need for like structured like boot camp and getting people up and running quickly, which I'm at that point now where I'm really getting that structure into place. But I felt like if I could have somebody join and come onto this team page and scroll all the way to the bottom and work their way up, they would be decently trained. So that was my mentality with my team page, was just getting a place where I could say, if you don't check any other page, yes, you've been added to a bunch of groups and pages once you become an ambassador. If you do nothing else, stay in tune with our page, because I'm going to be feeding you information that is at the place where you are in your business so you can keep moving forward and you don't feel overwhelmed with stuff that people at Senior Gold or Ruby are doing, because that's not where you are right now. So I kind of think stay in your own boat, keep your blinders on. And as you get more people, that becomes more difficult. And that's where all that leadership training really comes in. And that's something that I'm really focusing on right now, is how do I, keep a toe in all these people as they're at different levels, and keeping them moving forward, even though they're not all together. So anyway, I'm learning, but this is so much fun. So, okay, let's see. Corporate announcements, recognition for those who are building. That's all, stuff that goes on your team page. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Contests were a big deal for me and a big motivator for me. So I tried to do ones that were, doable for me. I couldn't do $100 giveaway, at the beginning, but I could do $15, or I could do, a gift certificate to, a restaurant that's a chain or something. So little things that kind of kept people going and moving forward, I thought was helpful. So I started doing that, and it's been great. Let's see. I made the team page a place where I put the trainings, and then they could move up the page. Yes, I'm talking about all of this. Okay, so now with more people, this is something that we really talked about in the senior gold training at convention, was having some more structured training. And so there was a boot camp file that was put out there, I think by Tamara Holloway. And it was literally like, here's the verbiage to use, here's how to work through and get them trained. And it has been awesome. I have put in my own stuff. I've kind of looked at, what their, the guidelines were for that week. There were 2 challenges a week, and each had a due date. And then at the end of each week, for participation, the people that had participated were put into a drawing. And then the drawing would be like, one of the network marketing books, a water bottle, a Plexus hat, something like that. I tried to keep it to $10 to $15, something that's reasonable for my budget. But that has been huge. I mean, I love that there's a separate group for it, that people in there, I had them commit to it. I had them write out, I am committed to July boot camp. And so, I'm learning as I go, and there are some tweaks that I will make to it, but I did a video that explained exactly what I was asking of them and what the assignments were. And then I put it in writing underneath it, so they had a checklist. And I think that that's been really helpful. Even people that were a little bit ahead of where we were felt like they gained some new skills. Things like take a product and study 3 ingredients that are in that product, and then teach it to somebody. Even if you don't have somebody in your house that you can teach it to us, like, have it recorded and then post that as your assignment on just that boot camp page. Nobody else sees it, but it's getting, comfortable and familiar with how to talk about it in a way that is just conversational, and it's not like you're selling to people. So those are the kinds of assignments that we were doing. Something else that, our team is trying to do at this point is planning a few months in advance and doing like a save the date type of calendar. And so right now ours goes through leaders retreat. So we have sip and sees scheduled in individual cities. We have online events. We tried to really and I think when you can make a calendar like that, you can balance out when you have your challenges, like your 21 day slim and edge challenge, and then have maybe an online event the next month, and then the next month have, something different. So we have a couple of things scheduled each month, which I feel like really gives people a reason to reach out and follow up with their people with new exciting things that we're doing. And then it also gives us, some things to plan on and plan for each month. So that's been helpful. Customer care is a place that I really feel like at this point I'm trying to be better at. And so I used a site called Constant Contact. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's really affordable. And I did a newsletter. And so I did a picture at the top. I called it the Plexus Post. And I made a little newsletter that was just like, the banner at the top listed what our upcoming events were. So people would see that even if they didn't scroll down, they'd see it right under, on the top. Next, I had an article, which I kind of pulled out some quotes from, and I did the link between gut health and overall health and a graphic. And then next, I did a product spotlight, and I did Slim. And then the last part I did, if you're interested in a great business opportunity, and then I did a diamond documentary. So it's very short, very sweet, and it's something that I intend to be completely duplicatable across our team. So everybody can share my Constant Contact account. They can go in and copy my template and put all their information in. And then each month we can schedule, and this goes out to our retail, our preferred customers, our ambassadors, and our side and uplines. And it's just something that I feel like if you can add value to your customers that are already buying products from you, that's going to keep them there longer because they're learning, they're being educated on what we're learning. They're learning about different products maybe they're not taking, and they're being introduced to the business opportunity. So I kind of feel like I'm excited about that. It had a great, open rate and Constant Contact. You can see all the stats, how many people opened it, how many people clicked to external links, all that stuff is on there. So I feel like it's a really good tool, and it's only it's like $15 a month or something. So, if you get your team on it, maybe everybody pays $5 or, one person does it 1 month and that, you get reimbursed somehow. But I felt like that was a good place to start because I started losing customers, and I would look at my PV and I'm like, how am I half of what I was last month? And I'd see all these people I'd turned off. I'd never talked to them. So I was kind of in that panic mode where I was like, I have to have a way that I can stay in touch with them. And even if I'm not personally talking to them, they're getting information from me, and we're kind of pseudo talking through this, newsletter. So I'm excited about that. Okay, I'm going to just kind of wrap it up because I know I'm talking for a really long time. But so every day I try to think about my business in four different categories. Number one, building my own business. So posting consistently on social media, reaching out to at least 2 to 4 people, new people, following up with potentials on Fridays, and upgrading my preferred customers to ambassadors. Number 2, I try to think about customer care. Who has reached out for product support? Who's having detox? Who's having trouble? I need to make sure that I'm following up with them once I've given them a plan of how to help. I need to make sure that I'm making sure that they're improving and doing better so I don't lose them. Number 3, I am always thinking about training my new people, keeping my team page up, running boot camp, keeping those new people motivated and moving forward so that their excitement and their passion doesn't extinguish. Number 4, how am I supporting, challenging, and loving on my runners? Making sure that I'm really making time for them, each week. A lot of times, I drive a lot because I'm running kids to activities here and there. I will just pick up the phone and call one of them every time I'm in the car. And sometimes, one day I called the same person twice, and she was like, yeah, we talked at 11. And I was like, okay, moving on. Talk to you tomorrow. So I just try to really make it a point that, I'm present with my kids when I'm with them, but if I'm in the car and I'm driving, I'm talking to somebody on my team just to see how they're doing, taking the pulse of where they are with things. So those are kind of some things. for a couple little mottos, the fake it till you make it. I love that. Even if that means you have to embellish on a drawing, if you only have one person that participated, I'll say we had awesome participation. I'm so excited. I put all that person's name in a hat. Even if there's 15 of the same person, they're going to win, but everybody thinks that they missed out on a great contest. So I think fake it till you make it is huge. Perception is everything. So make sure that you're doing that. Dress for the part you want, not for the part you have is huge. It's trash till it's cash. I love that. And then building belief, those 3 pillars in yourself, in network marketing, and in Plexus. The bottom line, everybody's timeline is different. Be patient with yours. Keep working. Keep your blinders on. Stay in your own boat. I know they say don't compare. It's so hard when you have started with somebody at the same time and they're pulling ahead and you're not. Try not to get discouraged. Just keep going, because I truly believe that you're moving at the pace that you should, and that you're learning things when you should at those times. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. That's just kind of what I try to do every day. I love Plexus. I'm here for you guys if you have any questions or if anything didn't make sense. I mean, Shannon, I love you, and anything I can do to help your team, I'm always here to do. So thanks.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Ruth. I had so many takeaways. Holy moly.
Good.
And you're going to be Diamond next month. I'm sure of it.
Every day I wake up and I'm like, gotta get to Diamond.
I love it. You guys, I hope you took that away, because Ruth, how close are you to senior gold?
I mean, this month was a downer. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It was, I think if, honestly, let me just be real with you. If everybody that was white lined was on, I would be like knocking on Senior Ruby's door. That's just how it is right now. But I'm hoping that, I'm hoping next month. I'm hoping September.
But you still get up every day and do it.
Oh yeah.
No, you're not giving up. So
and I'm not dwelling on the rank. Honestly, like I truly feel like the better that I can become and the more that I can support my team, it's going to catch up one day. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to wake up and be like, wow, look at that.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing that, I have a whole bunch of notes here, but I love how you said dress the part. That's the one reason I wanted you on here, because you do dress the part. And right away you talked about how your business is professional. And I think that's where we get, I think that's just what really changes our business, when we start to view our business as, it's my profession. Mm-hmm. I'm a professional Plexus ambassador, and you take so much pride in that. And I've been trying to teach that, having coaching calls about that topic, about viewing your business as, this is a professional business. I don't just sell health supplements. I run a successful professional business. Mm-hmm. And like you said, fake it till you make it. So, putting that one name into the hat, and telling everybody it was such a successful drawing, and still telling everybody, I have a successful business. I have this, that's the one thing I love. I took away from a previous call, probably 8 months ago. She had said that she had, her team was like going backwards, and she had to say the words to herself and to people around her, I have one of the fastest growing teams in Plexus. Yeah. And she just kept telling herself that. And now she's a diamond. She was a gold at that time.
When people ask, I'm like, it is bonkers. Like, I can barely keep up, and then they're like, well, what are you doing? And yep. It's like, come on, yep. Give it a try.
So, yeah. And I hope you guys are all motivated by, Ruth, she obviously has recruited a lot, and she's sitting at between gold and senior gold, but you guys, she's running boot camps. She's taking the initiative to do the things that how she wants to run her team. I'm sure she's duplicating from her upline, but she's putting herself into it. And, at gold, treating it like a professional business is huge. And that's what's going to get her far. And I just wanted her so much to to speak about that part. And she gave us so much more gold to dig from. And I hope y'all took notes because, I mean, holy moly, it was so good. And the non-emotional, just totally not being, taking the emotion out when you're messaging a contact, and you message them, you go about your week, you're not sitting there thinking about it. And then when it's follow-up Friday, that's when you can go back and readdress that message again, but you're not stirring over it going, oh, I hope I didn't offend them. And it's about them and not you. So yeah. So does anybody have any questions for Ruth? Anyone?
Bueller.
Bueller. Well, I was not going to stay on, and everyone left the room, and I'm on Kimberly's computer. I'm not sure where she went, but this is called multitasking. And first of all, well, Ruth, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Taking the time out, planning your notes to speak for our call. I hope that we can be a blessing to your team too someday.
Absolutely.
So
One Texas. I love y'all. I really do. Do you want me to jump off? Are you guys going to do the rest of your team call?
We're going to sign off.
Can you sing for us first, Ruth? Please?
You know what? My singing voice is nothing that you want to hear, but I can sing up with the best of them. Like, I want to know Jimmy Fallon. Like, one of these days.
Yep, she is a great lip singer. Oh my gosh, so funny. You have us all rolling.
Oh, I love it. Wow, it's
so awesome
for you guys. Plexus just makes you happy. So people see that and they just want to jump on whatever you're doing. Like, yep. If you are selling, squiggly straws, like, make it the best freaking experience that somebody can have. And they cannot help but want to be on that train.
Yeah.
So so much fun.
Yep. Cool. Well, I'm just going to stop recording here. Thanks for joining us. And you guys all rock. Okay. Did I stop recording?